May I come in, sir?
Come in. Aditya Srivastava.
Good afternoon,
Yeah.
sir. Good afternoon.
Sit down, Aditya.
Thank you, sir.
Sit comfortably. Make yourself comfortable and be at ease.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You're the option electrical engineering.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you were born in Lucknow.
Yes, sir.
नवाबों का शहर कहते हैं इसको.
Yes, sir. Nawab or kebab. Nawab or kebab. Yes, sir.
Your father is Ajay Kumar Srivastava.
Yes, sir.
He is assistant audit officer.
Yes, sir.
कहाँ पर?
Sir, in the state subdivision of CAG called Accountant General Office.
Okay. थोड़ा जोर से बोलिए so that we can hear you comfortably. Okay.
Sure, sir. Yes, sir.
Mother is Abha Srivastava.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Explain to me this significance of your name Aditya, and then tell me what is the linkage between Aditya and Abha.
Sir, Aditya actually means sun god in mythological terms. In general terms, we can consider it as someone who shows light to others on a philosophical sense. As far as the...
Before you go to the next part,
Yes, sir.
what are the other names of sun god you say? There are many names of sun god.
Yes, sir. They can be Surya, Dinkar, Bhaskar, Divakar. These are the ones I'm able to recall currently.
Okay, okay. कभी आपको सूर्य नमस्कार भी सुना आपने?
Yes, sir. I've heard of that.
What is that?
It is a kind of yoga, but I'm not exactly sure about the moves that happen in that.
Okay, okay. Any month related to Lord Sun, Aditya? या सूर्य भगवान से related?
Sir, I'll have to think a bit.
कभी सोचा नहीं?
Sir, actually, generally we use the English terms, so I will have to delve into the Hindi terms and then think.
Yes, tell in Hindi terms. I'm comfortable.
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall.
Okay, now go to the second part.
Sir, Abha, if I'm able to recall correctly, it refers to the shine or the... it generally refers to the shine or the elements related to... sorry, sir, I'm able to recall the term shine only at this point in time. So, if we try to relate the terms Abha and Aditya, then Abha of Aditya would basically refer to sunlight or sunshine. That's what I'm able to connect.
I thought the link between Aditya and Abha is of mother and son. That's what you will say first.
Yes, sir. I actually went a bit into the meanings of that. Sorry, sir.
Okay, okay, good. Now, assistant audit officer, have you ever been discussing this audit process with your father?
Yes, sir. Sometimes he does tell me about the process and how it's done.
Okay, okay, okay. Since you are the engineer,
yes, sir.
Let me ask you one kind of audit. What is seismic safety audit? I mean, we talk of social audit, we talk of performance audit, but I'm interested in knowing about seismic safety audit.
So, from the words I can make out that it basically refers to auditing whether the infrastructure and the other elements like exigency plans, etc., are robust enough to ensure that people don't get harmed and there is minimal loss to property also in case an earthquake occurs. So, that's what I think this is.
Okay. As an engineer, have you ever bothered, Delhi shook recently?
Yes, sir.
So, did it cause any worry in your mind?
Sir, actually, honestly, I was not able to notice the shaking that happened. Mostly
good.
People
that
who
was good that you didn't, get rattled.
Yes, sir.
But you must have heard it in the news.
Yes, sir.
Did that cause any concern in your mind?
Yes, sir. That definitely caused a bit of concern, and I think that we need to ensure that the buildings, etc., which are constructed, as well as the areas which are very congested, those have to be looked after very quickly because now we are seeing that the intensity of earthquakes is also increasing. So, in that respect, I think that this is something we need to do.
Intensity of earthquake is increasing. Where?
Sir, so there was a recent report that a prominent scientist had predicted that we are expecting a mega earthquake in the Himalayan region anytime soon. That soon can actually be thousands of years also, but no one knows when it would occur. And since we are very close to the Himalayas, so I think that we need to ramp up our preparedness.
Well, in that context, can you tell what is our government of India doing, or maybe government of UP? You have been in Kanpur, IIT Kanpur, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And what are the zones, earthquake, seismic zones in UP, you see? Does it really have seismic vulnerability?
Sir, I'm not sure of which zones UP lies in. There are 5 zones, but UP is not in the top 2. Like the part where Kanpur, Lucknow, etc. are situated, those would be either in 4 or in 3, I think. So there is not immediate danger, but then we have to look at the larger nation and ensure that the parts which are actually vulnerable, we look after them immediately.
But can you tell 2-3 measures which have been taken by government of India in the last 10-20 years?
So there is an increasing push towards disaster resilient infrastructure within the nation, as well as we are trying to promote it abroad as well. So that is one of the initiatives. Apart from that,
what is the name of that initiative? That's a good point. What is the name of that initiative?
It's called CDRI, Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
You said there are 5 zones.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure there are 5 zones? Which are the 5 zones? Just tell me.
Sir, I'm able to recall to the best of my memory that there are 5 zones numbered like from 1 to 5 only. That's what I'm able to recall correctly.
But number 1 doesn't exist. Though 5 is there, so one may think that there are 5 zones, but the number 1 doesn't exist.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll
because
read about
Kanpur has a strong base in civil engineering of earthquake engineering also, you say.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is this relationship, science behind the relationship dynamics? Just explain to me. What is this?
So, sir, in the recent years, we see that there is an increasing focus on individual liberty, and we have seen that there is a bit of dilution of social values and social control. So, in that perspective, people are resorting back to their innate instincts, which were basically programmed by evolution. And so, I like to study the evolutionary genesis of those instincts, as well as the neuroscience behind the emotions, etc. So that's what I'm interested in.
Okay, but what are the latest trends in this relationship dynamics? Where are we moving? It seems the traditional system, joint family, they have all practically broken and breaking down, you see. Where are we moving, you see?
Yes, sir. There have been recent changes in the family dynamics as well as the relationship dynamics. So we have started seeing the emergence of live-in relationships, same-sex marriages is also a talk of the town nowadays. Apart from that, as far as joint family is concerned, it had broken down definitely, but now we are seeing a resurgence of that because of dual career households. So basically, the importance of grandparents is increasing for both things. Firstly, to tackle the kind of loneliness that they were facing, and secondly, to take care of the children also in the absence of the mother and the father. So these are the basic trends I'm able to see.
But do you see another 20 years, the family relationships and all that, marriage, divorce, this and that will be where USA is now or the Western world is standing now?
Sir, I would hope not, because currently we see that in USA, divorce rates have surpassed 50%. The average duration of marriage has come down to 8 years. But I think that the family and society structure in India is much more resilient and is much more drawn towards the values compared to what exists in the USA. So I think that we would not tread down that path, and probably there would be a bit of hitches, but more or less we would have a stable society.
Yeah, they also.
Thank you, sir.
Aditya, you studied in IIT Kanpur.
Yes, sir.
What is Kanpur's relationship with the first war of Indian independence?
Sir, during the first war of independence, Kanpur was a prominent hub of resistance under, I think, Nana Sahib. And
full name, Nanaji? Anything?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall.
You visited his fort? Where was his fort?
Sorry, sir, I did not visit.
Oh, you never went to Gangaji?
No, sir. My friends went to Bithur, but I never went there.
You never went to Bithur?
Yes,
all right. What is the main difference between the first war of Indian independence and the freedom struggle of the 20th century. Some major differences.
Sir, one of the prominent differences was that while the first war of independence took route to violent methods, the freedom struggle in the 20th century that was much more towards Gandhian ideas of non-violence.
Okay, one.
Apart from that, since the latter one was non-violent, it resorted more to legal methods, like if we see during the Indigo Revolt, etc. Then those
Okay,
resorted to.
two.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Can I take a moment to
Sure.
think?
Something major?
Sir, another important point was all India participation, which was lacking in the first war of independence, and also the democratization of the participation.
People's participation.
Yes, sir. People's participation.
People's participation. That was perhaps the. What were the leadership qualities of Mahatma Gandhi that so many millions uneducated people, they also came to the freedom struggle and came to the streets? What were the leadership qualities of Mahatma Gandhi?
Sir, according to me, the most important quality was that he had a certain set of values and he stuck to those values irrespective of the situations. For example, we saw in the Chauri Chaura incident.
Okay, one.
Apart from that, there was another element of how he negotiated with the Britishers. So he took a firm stance and did not bog down very easily.
Two. Leadership of Indians, Indian masses. How did they sort of believed in him, and something on that to reflect for a moment?
Sir, if you look at the success of initial struggles like Champaran, Ahmedabad mill strike, then the result orientation and the kind of results that he was able to achieve, the kind of negotiations that he was able to do, and
If I say he was a great communicator,
yes, sir.
Comment on that.
Yes, sir, he was definitely a great communicator.
How did he communicate, and what did he communicate?
Sir, important points of his communication were that he used the language of the masses and also gave pretty connecting slogans like "do or die," or if we talk about the way he had.
And how did he communicate? What were the means of communication?
Sir, generally they were mass meetings.
And
So that's what I'm able to recall, like mass
just
meetings.
think, he edited so many papers. Origin, this, that, every week he used to write.
Yes, sir.
Okay, electrical engineering. There are two new sources of energy on the horizon.
Yes, sir.
Tell us which are those, and then we'll talk more.
Sir, the two major sources I see on the horizon are firstly the green hydrogen,
Green hydrogen is the second.
and the second one would be nuclear fusion.
In nuclear fusion, what has been the breakthrough which has been talked about just about a couple of months back? What is the breakthrough in the fusion?
So the recent breakthrough was that it was the first time that we were able to produce more energy than the amount we were inputting.
Now, going back to green hydrogen, in your assessment, in how many years can that become commercially viable? Because technology, physics is there, technology or whatever is being developed. Just your estimate.
Sir, it would be difficult to put a number to it, but
No,
I think
you are power secretary and you have to give some estimate,
yes,
your own estimate.
sir, I would estimate around 1 decade.
1 decade.
That would be the ideal horizon.
Pakistan is in trouble.
Yes, sir.
We should be happy.
Sir, definitely we should not be happy.
Why?
Because
Why
of
not?
two major reasons. Firstly, the ideological struggle and other struggles are between the countries, and the people suffering is not something that
You
should be
think
good.
our people care about the suffering? Anyway, go ahead.
And sir, secondly, I would say that an unstable nuclear powered neighbor is not good for India.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Aditya,
Yes, sir.
Professor C.N.R. Rao, have you heard his name?
Yes, sir. I've heard his name.
What was his contribution? He was from where?
Sir, I'm unable to recall his contribution. He was from Tamil Nadu, I think, but I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, he was given Bharat Ratna also.
Yes, sir.
He
For
was a
what
professor in
purpose?
IIT Kanpur, chemistry department. He taught me.
Sir, sorry, I'm unable to recall at the moment his contribution.
For what work he was given Bharat Ratna?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable
The
to.
highest award. No
Yes.
idea about it.
Sorry, sir, I'm
Okay.
unable to recall.
Most of the cities in UP, they have severe or serious, you can say, environment related problems. Can you identify any two, three, based on your experience from Kanpur?
Sir, one of the major problem is pollution of Ganga, Gomti, etc. Due to the lack of infrastructure for sewage treatment. So that would be the first one. Secondly, we see a lot of air pollution. Certain cities from UP are ranking among the top 10 in the air pollution rankings. And thirdly, also we are seeing water pollution and issues related to groundwater. So these are the three major things I can recall.
So UP government chief minister is sitting in Lucknow. Why they are not sensitive toward these issues?
Sir, I would say that they
In
are
the capital of UP.
Yes, sir.
The CM should be sensitive to these issues. What are the problems?
Sir, I would say that they are sensitive definitely because a number of steps are being taken towards that direction. But what the problem is that the infrastructure takes actually some time, and we are trying to invest also. Like recently, the Sisama Nala of Kanpur was tapped. So the steps are being taken, but it is taking a bit of time to reach the kind of results that we are hoping to get.
Okay. You tell me through which sources this UP is getting electricity. You are an electrical engineer.
Yes.
What is the main source of electricity in this state?
Sir, there are power departments like Madhyanchal, Purvanchal, etc. Nagar Vidyut Nigams. So those are the major.
You tell me the
institutions.
UP is self-sufficient as far as electricity is requirement concerned, or they are having some help from other state, neighboring states?
Sir, we are not self-sufficient as far as I can recall, but I'm unable to recall from where they are sourcing their energy requirements.
If you are energy secretary, you tell me in UP you will recommend nuclear energy or solar energy. What would be your preference to generate, extra electricity?
Sir, I think I would try to take a balance of both because UP does not come within the tropics, but still we have a large scope for solar power generation. So I would, let us say, I would try to give it a 50-50 split and try to achieve.
But nuclear energy is, very good source of electricity and all that.
Yes,
so
sir.
what are the problems? Why we are not having more nuclear power plant in the country?
Sir,
almost only limited numbers are there.
Yes, sir. Sir, the major problems I see are that firstly, we are not self-sufficient in uranium. We have a lot of dependence on imports. Secondly, the investment and the technology are also something that we are lacking in because of certain things like the nuclear civil liability law, because of which
have you
US
traveled by the rickshaw in Delhi? We call them electronic or electrical battery operated rickshaw.
Yes, sir.
These are what type of vehicles you will
These are
classify them? Electronic or electric?
Sir, I would classify them as electric vehicles.
Electric vehicles.
Yes.
So what is the difference between the two, electronic and electric?
Sir, I'm not sure about the electronic vehicles, but
there
for
is
electric
no vehicle
vehicles,
like electronics.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I could not get the question.
If I say there is no vehicle like called as electronic vehicle, it is only electrical vehicles.
Sir, I'm not sure if we can devise motors which run on electronic principles, but currently the motors are running on the principles of, let us say,
Which
induction.
company is bringing two-wheeler which are electrical two-wheelers?
Sir, I've heard of Ola as well as Hero, who are bringing electric
No, it is a
two-wheelers.
Tesla. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Aditya Srivastava
Yes, sir.
from UP.
Yes, sir.
UP is doing very excellent in infrastructure development and so many development parameters.
Yes, sir.
But still, poverty is a big issue.
Yes,
It
sir.
is not percolating down to the grassroots level. I would like to know what should be our development model so that in coming 5 years, our poor get more money in their coffer.
Sir, I think that we would need to take a region-wise strategy. For example, in the Madhyanchal region, we are coming up with the state capital region and that can be developed as an IT hub because of the existing infrastructure. In the West, we can look towards diversifying our agricultural produce. Let us say we start investing more in dragon fruit, etc., which are more suitable for the agroclimatic conditions. In the East, we have a good tourism hub, so we can try to develop that and bring in money from outside as well. In the Bundelkhand region, we don't have that much of agricultural productivity, so there we can try to devise the hub for manufacturing, whereby we can bring in the Mitra Park, etc., and focus on textiles and even electronic manufacturing. So that would be my thought on this particular subject.
So the present union budget in any way will be helpful for providing employment to the common people, keeping in view the Manrega budget allocation has been drastically cut,
Yes, sir.
and the areas who are flagging require skilling and upskilling,
Yes, sir.
and there should be, I mean, that will further take time,
Yes,
but they want immediately food.
yes, sir.
So employment way, I mean, I wanted from you what should be other than Manrega, because Manrega is for those who are not getting anything,
Yes,
for
sir.
those who just to survival level only.
Yes.
So the time lag is there before upskilling them. I mean, get some before that employment. How they will survive? Because job is not available.
Sir, I would say that for the initial period, there is a lot of focus on capital expenditure, and eventually all the construction, etc., has to be done by the people who are unskilled or semi-skilled. So that is one field by which we can generate employment.
Saptarishi concept has been given in this year's union budget. What do you understand by this Saptarishi?
Sir, this basically refers to the prime focus areas of the budget and how we are planning to develop India into for the next, let's say, the Amrit Kal, and want to achieve a developed country status. So that's.
Can you recall some priority areas you are mentioning?
Sir, one was infrastructure, one was inclusive development. Others I'm unable to recall at the moment.
Okay. Three new program for the first time given in this union budget, dealing with agriculture and environment. Can you recall?
Sir, one was related to mangroves. I think it was called Mishti. One was related to. There was a PM Prasad scheme also.
PM?
Sorry, PM Prasad scheme was not in this one. Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall the other. The Mishti scheme is something I'm able to recall for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
For the agriculture,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall the agriculture.
You mentioned
ones.
about PM Mitra program.
Yes, sir.
What is that? Elaborate this Mitra.
Sir, it's related to mega textile parks. I'm unable to recall the exact full form, but it's basically providing plug and play facilities for these mega textile parks, and trying to provide vertical integration for the entire supply chain from fiber to fabric to garment. That's the overall thing.
Have you heard about PM Kusum program?
Yes, sir. That's about solarization of agricultural pumps.
What is the government latest policy regarding EV and the charging stations? One day ago, I mean, they have provided certain guidelines about the charging stations or something, and some target has been also given. Can you recall that?
Sir, I'm unable to recall of the exact numbers, but it's basically about expanding the charging infrastructure. So currently we see that the charging infrastructure is concentrated in big cities, but along the highways or in the smaller cities, it is not present. So we are trying to achieve uniformity in that front, so that the adoption of electric vehicles becomes easier.
In the highway, how many kilometer it is? They have given the number also.
Sorry, sir.
And how many kilometers there will be a charging station mandatory?
Sorry, sir. I'm unable to recall.
Okay. My last question is, you have mentioned dinosaur regarding the dinosaur.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about that. They're studying about dinosaurs, evolutionary science behind relationship dynamics. What is this?
Sir, so about dinosaurs, it's basically that I like to study what those periods were like, what dinosaurs were like, and what were the specialties because of which they were able to rule the earth for like 17 crore years. Apart from that, the second thing I told sir that it was basically about the changing relationship dynamics as the society is progressing towards individual liberty, and there is a bit of dilution of social values and social control that we see nowadays.
In MP, there is my last question. In MP, there is one national park devoted for dinosaur only. Do you know this thing?
Sir, I'm able to recall the ones in
Near?
I'm able to recall the one in Gujarat near Rayoli. This one I'm unable to recall. I think it is called the Dinosaur National Park only. It's in western Madhya Pradesh. That's what I'm able to recall.
Yes, near Indore.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Let me say, you can say something about the role of technology in the financial sector. Fintech is the current
Yes,
fashionable word. Let's see, what is it?
sir, if I recall what I was doing in the financial sector, so basically it was about developing mathematical models to better predict whether a particular loan would become bad or not, and whether a particular transaction of a credit card is fraud or not. So these were the two major things. If you look at the fintech segment about lending, etc., then we have seen that blockchain technology is actually offering the scope for peer-to-peer lending. So these are the few prominent uses of technology.
How is it helping India achieve its goals of financial inclusion, particularly at the lower levels? Say something about that.
Sir, so actually peer-to-peer lending and also the other financial sector companies, the smaller companies, they are actually providing easier and more accessible loans to the people many a times. Apart from that, the peer-to-peer lending thing is also helpful that it can connect people who can lend among themselves and maintain a track record of that. So these are the ways it is helping a bit in financial inclusion.
One of the major thing which has even gone to village, rural level, thela wala, rickshaw wala, UPI.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And can you explain something about UPI? That was,
Yes, sir.
yes, please.
So it is a system which is brought by the NPCI, whereby we can just scan a QR code and make payments to which would go directly into accounts of the particular vendor. So we see that it's now a lot prevalent in rural areas also, in Delhi also. So that's the major thing.
Important thing for rural India. Now let me say you are an electrical engineer, MTech. I don't know what you are. You must be working somewhere anyhow. Tell me about grid. What it is? How does it work? Power grid, electrical grids. Yes.
So grid basically comprises of the GenCos, the transmission, and then the distribution companies. So the GenCos are the ones which generate the electricity via coal or any other method. Then the transmission happens by various lines, etc. And then the distribution companies transmit the voltage, which has been now downgraded to 220, and then transmit it to the houses. So that's how the grid works.
My best wishes are with you that you come to the civil service. But say unfortunately you remain in your power sector. So you are in charge of the state grid, sitting there in the control room. Okay. You find that the frequency is getting low. What will be your immediate action for this case? What does it signifies? And what action will you take? You are in charge of the grid, sitting in the control room.
So can I take a moment to think? Sir, I can think that there is some load balance problem, and we need to resort to that. So initially, I would try to increase the transmission to ensure that the falling of frequency is prevented. Then I would go into the domain of trying to find out why this problem arose and try to solve that particular problem.
Falling frequency shows extra load. That is the basic thing. Now you are Uttar Pradesh. You are just a question. Uttar Pradesh now is known as bulldozer and a bulldozer technology, and there is another encounter technology. There may be ethical aspect, but what are the legal provisions for this? There must be some legal for bulldozer technology and bulldozer action and encounter action. What are the legal framework for this?
Sir, for the bulldozer one, the legal framework is basically that the buildings which have not been constructed according to the laws and the rules, they can be fallen down after giving, I think, 15 days notice and giving them the right